Lumberjacks is sponsored by Echo, only professional grade with 5-year warranty. Crown, protect, maintain, save. Dickies, quality workwear since 1922. Yamaha, rev your heart.
Bienvenue at Lyster, found on the Baie-Cancourt River in central Quebec. It's prime real estate for the outdoor enthusiast. And looking at these lumberjacks, they're starting off with their competitors meeting and nearly ready for the first event of the day, the underhand chop. We have 22 men and 6 women competing here in Lyster, and there's over $5,000 of prize money on the chopping block. Bill, take it away.
In this first heat of the underhand chop, we have Simone Bertrand taking on Chris Sikora. Both these guys are excellent swords. We're going to see them a little bit later on in the show in the modified saw. Right now, they're swinging an axe. If you want to be a good lumberjack, you got to be able to hammer the wood.
And look how the axe that actually Chris Sikora is swinging is a black handle. It's a fiberglass handle, Bill. Most guys use wooden handles in their axes. Chris's is fiberglass.
Nice, clean, white wood there for Chris Sikora, but he's not really hitting his lines. He's stair-stepping all the way through that, and he's also got not a very good pace.
Jean-Simon opened up to a knot on his first side. Sometimes that'll throw you a little bit. You're worried about your axe dulling in your axe, but he's doing a great job, has a good pace right now.
Simone Bertrand really outpacing Chris Sikora. Chris right now trying to keep an eye on his lines and doing the best job he can using strength. Simone Bertrand wins the first heat at 34.02. Chris Sikora trying to power things off on his drive side. So you did a lot of work in the front side, and obviously you punched the knot right out, and that's very little work on the back side. Is that normal chop for you?
I try to go as deep as I can on the first side, because if you don't have a good first side, doesn't matter what you do on the second. You know, if the first one's not done right, and spend hours on the backside.
Some great advice there from Jean-Simon Bertrand. Usually that's what a lot of young guys just starting out on the chops fail to do, is put their one-on-one drivers in there good and deep on the bottom on the front side.
Here's heat number 2 of the underhand chop. We got Hugues Filion, the guy putting on this show here today, taking on New Hampshire's Jerry Gingras in the underhand chop. 34.02 is the time to beat, set by Simon in the first heat.
Jerry Gingras, obviously another sawing specialist. He just opened up to a big knot. Again, that really messes with your head on the underhand when you see that.
Good pace by Hugues as he makes his turn over to the backside. Nice, good 3-step turn. Jerry Gingras really powering through that wood.
2 guys have slipped on their switch from side to side already. Jerry Gingras, same thing happens to him. He's breaking it off there.
Jerry Gingras lowers the time to beat down to 21.5. Not sure if his block is severed. Luc Normand, the head judge, gonna have to have a look. Jerry, you had a pretty good chop there. You know, you made your turn, I think, about right time, but didn't quite finish things off.
Yeah, I got turned around, lost my balance a little bit, stepped off the block, and then went to drive it off, put the driver in. The top of the block was broke good. It peeled up, so I didn't have nothing to stand on, but left a little piece hanging.
So did you know that coming off, or did you have to be told by the judge?
No, I knew it coming off, but I wasn't gonna take a swing still standing on the ground.
Well, it's never nice to take a DQ. Jerry had to take a DQ in that last heat. He didn't get the job done. Hugues Filion now lower the time to beat to 32.55. Here's Calvin and Gaston.
Oh, look at Gaston's block. It's falling apart. His axe is chewing this wood alive.
Nice, clean lines on the left-hand side for Gaston. Calvin Willard, axe sticking on the front side before his turn.
Left a pile of wood on the front side. He's going to have to drive a lot harder on the backside now.
Gaston really using his power, picking up the pace right now, but he's powering things off, driving through. Gaston lowers the time to beat to 22.64 in the underhand chop. How is the wood there? Your axe seemed to be sticking. Is it because you're hitting so hard, or is the wood very soft?
Oh, both. The wood is softer than I was thinking, and I tried to go fast, but go fast, need the deep hit, hard hit, but I think it's not a really good cut.
If you had to chop another block, the same block, would you change your axes? Would you change your axe if you chopped another block?
No. No, I was just, our movement would be longer to have more penetration.
It's all about technique in the underhand chop, and the top 3 delivered. Gaston Duperret narrowly takes the first heat at 22.64 seconds.
Closed captioning is brought to you by Dickies. Quality workwear since 1922.
Churches are always a sight to see anywhere in La Belle Provence. And just traveling less than an hour out of Quebec City, Lyster has its own history, culture, and small town feel for visitors and residents of all ages, especially for kids where they can study hard and have fun enjoying the great outdoors. The population of 1,600 people have welcomed Lumberjacks back to town for the second year in a row, and the excitement has been growing with this competition. Here's round 2 of the underhand chop with 22.64 seconds as the time to beat for these next 4 choppers.
We're heading into the underhand chop. The last 2 heats, the underhand chop. Right now, the time to beat was set before the break, and it was Gaston Duperry. His time of 22.64. 4 excellent choppers to go, including 2 right here. JP Mercier taking on Mike Sullivan.
Mike Sullivan up from Winstead, Connecticut. Been at this for a long time. Both powerful underhand choppers. This will be a great race.
Both guys are into their aspen wood. Looks like JP is way over on the left side of his block. Sometimes you do that to avoid a knot or some kind of a problem with the wood.
A lot of guys are having a hard time standing on top of the block here today, Bill, but now they're both into the backside of their wood. They're getting into the small wood already. They're swinging well. They're actually chopping this wood well.
Both these guys have been chopping for years, and it's a great race going on here, trying to beat the 22.64 by Gaston. Mike Sullivan just edges out JP by a swing and a half. You went 9 hits in the front there. Did you consider doing 10?
No, I said 9. I'm going 9. As soon as I hit the first 2, I said it's 9.
You went to your pattern of 8, then the one in the middle on the driver?
Oh, bottom. Get your bottom, because if you're going to have a problem driving it on the back, it's always the bottom.
So I counted 14 in the back. Was that a little more than you wanted?
Wood wasn't as good in the back. It was good in the front, just wasn't as good in the back. And plus, when I came around, if you see, I kind of fell a little bit, didn't try to turn too quick. Got a little excited. It was a good log.
That was a tough turn.
Yeah, it was, yeah.
Here we go, heading into heat number 5, the last heat of the underhand chop. Jewett taking on Lambert. Right now it is so close. We got 4 guys all within a second of each other.
Quite a testament to the quality that Hewitt's put into the wood. All the blocks are really similar. It's going to take a great chop to beat 22 seconds.
World-class chopper Dave Jewett taking on Donald Lambert. Look at the pace on both these guys.
Dave Jewett's around to his second side already. His block exploding. This axe is chopping it well. He's into the small wood, Bill.
Donald Lambert had a little bit of a stumble when he made his turn over the backside. He almost fell off the log. Jewett wins the underhand chop with a 20.88. Donald Lambert struggling to the finish. So going in the last heat, it's got to be a bit of advantage. I don't know if you saw Sullivan take 9 hits in the front. You went 8 hits in the front.
Yeah, and I think actually I had a better log than Mike's did. I had a nice white log, so I'll take the win, but Mike's a good underhand cutter. I guarantee if he had my log, he'd have cut it better than I did. So I got lucky with the log draw today. I should have cut it better, but it's a tough crowd, so I'll take the win. And I've drawn some bad logs this year, so I got a little lucky today.
Thanks, Dave.
Yeah, thanks, Bill.
And sometimes you need a little luck in a tough heat, and Dave Jewett pulls ahead of the pack by nearly 2 full seconds.
Here's where we now get the women involved in the lumberjack sports. It's called the Jack and Jill Buck. Men and women working together, and we got 2 cuts of the trembling aspen, and then we're gonna see a lot of fast times here. We got some French Canadians, we got some Americans, all of them very proficient in the double buck or the Jack and Jill Buck if it's a man and a woman. First here we got Sylviane Lambert, which is the sister of Donald Lambert, and Marcel Poirier taking on the Maciels from Massachusetts, Vince and Heather.
The whole key to the double buck is to work together as a team, anticipate when the other person's done pulling so you don't fight each other with the saw. As long as you work together, good teamwork back and forth, Bill, the person that does that the best will come out on top.
On the right-hand side, we have the team from Quebec. On the left-hand side, we got the Americans. The Canadians right there on the right are having a hard time. Vince and Heather are making it look easy.
Great job using a full blade. Both of them working together well. They're going to be down, Bill. It looks like about 13-1.
Good job by Heather and Vince. You got to be pretty happy with that cut. It didn't seem to be any problems, and your switch was good. Did you see any problems with that?
No, it seemed pretty smooth. We're used to doing 2 cuts, so switch was pretty good for us.
Now you're using a new product on your saw there. Do you find it a little bit more easy to pull with the solution there?
Yeah, I like this. This really protects the saw really well. We have some of our shows we go to where unfortunately it rains, and protecting these raw metal equipment is crucial. And this product works real well, and it sticks on the metal, which is nice.
Man, use the Crown lubricant there. Their slogan is protect, maintain, and save. The competitors are starting to figure out Crown as a great lubricant. Veronique Simard, Simone Bertrand, husband and wife, Hugues Filion and Isabelle Guertin, another husband and wife team, should be great. They're all French Canadians as well. Time to beat 13-14 in the double buck.
Great competitors are both running JP Mercier blades. This is going to be a tight one to see who wins this.
And you can see on the right-hand side, Simone Bertrand, you got JP Mercier right in the background, spraying the crown and giving them advice along the way. That's got to help them.
Hugues Filion has a hang-up. Well, they have 2 hang-ups in a row. It opens the door for Simone Bertrand, and look at them cut that wood.
Bertrand and Simone win the heat and lower the time to beat.
You gotta be happy with that cut. You see any problems with that?
A bit slow. Veronique was a bit heavy on it, but that's the way it is when you saw it twice a year.
Now, Veronique, you had some shoes that were sliding a lot. Was that a factor?
Maybe, I don't know.
Because you have the opportunity to wear some cleats maybe, but you got cleats on your feet?
Yeah, I did, because I compete more than Veronique, so maybe she's going to be investing $75 for a pair.
Okay, they lowered the time to beat by an incredible 3/100ths of a second. We're down to 13:11 as the time to beat. We got a couple of more husband and wife teams here. Lambert and Lemelin taking on Gagne and Dupéry. Once again, we're chock full of French Canadians. You know it's going to get faster.
Well, just like Jean-Simon said, they made a couple of boo-boos there. These guys know that if they lay down 2 good cuts, solid cuts, make a great change from the first cookie to the second cookie, they can be in there and take first place.
That's what's great about a 2-cut race, this opportunity to make mistakes or do it well. Look at the first mistake there made by Gaston and his partner. They're breaking the cut. Donald and Alain are well ahead in this race. Are they going to lower the time to beat? They win the Jack and Jill buck with a 12:18.
Now, on your first cut, you had a bit of a broken cookie, but you finished the cut. How difficult is that?
Well, I knew that I have to pay attention to keep the cross cut against the log, against the cookie. So just pay attention to it and finish the cut. So we start a little bit, probably crooked, not crooked, on the sideways.
Wise words from Team Lambert and Lemelin. They roll with the punches and take the Jack and Jill buck with a commanding 12.18 win. The crowds in Lyster seem to keep growing and growing, and the variety of ages and genders shows that there's a place in lumberjacking for anyone. So let's get to the double buck.
We're heading into the double buck event. We have 2 pair of American competitors. We got Billy Cornelius and Chris Sikora taking on the Maulers, Trevor and Nick. And this is a father-son combo. I know, Rod, you got a special place in your heart for father and son combos.
Have 2 boys of my own, Bill. Always great to compete with them, but of course they've set me aside now. They team up with one another. Trevor's got a great partner, Nick. He's a big young lad. They're quiet boys, but they let their gear do the talking.
They're definitely sawing specialists coming up here from Vermont, taking on Cornelius and Sikora. Going to be a great race, and they're doing 2 cuts.
2 cuts, Bill. They've listened to us. These saws are so fast, you might as well make the 2 cuts. It shows a whole lot more skill going from one cut to the next.
Oh, it makes it a lot more challenging. You can see both teams have a struggle to get into their second cut. Cornelius and Sikora are now lagging behind. Moeller win the heat.
That was a fairly close heat, but you guys could have won that if you didn't have a hard time in the second cut.
That's our first time cutting together, so I was pretty happy with the first 2 cuts that we've ever made. That was all the practice that we ever had, so actually I was pretty happy with that. Billy's never run this saw before, and this is actually a yellow poplar saw. It's not even an aspen saw, so it's set up really aggressive, so and it's kind of interesting.
Well, did you learn something on the first cut with sawing with Mr. Chikora here?
Yeah, I mean, on the first cut, it's just kind of getting the feel of him, and I kind of figured out what he'd saw like, so I think the second cut went off a little better. We had a little bobble on the start, but, you know, once we got through that, I think overall we cut it better on the second cut.
Heading into heat number 2 of the double buck, we got Calvin Willard and Vince Maciel taking on Dave Gribe and Craig Morris. Once again, 4 Americans. First heat in the double buck was the Maulers, setting the time to beat at 12.03.
These names you typically don't hear together in the double buck, Bill. These fellows have traveled up from the eastern United States. They had to pick up a different partner for the double buck.
Well, just again, a reminder that it's 2 cuts, and the key is always getting from one cut to the second cut. If you can make it flawlessly, you're going to have a good time, and your saw is doing the work.
Look at Maciel. He's a sawing expert. His cross-cut saw, it's a Mercier saw. Look how fast it's cutting this wood.
Morris and Grime on the right-hand side really struggling. Maciel and Willard win the heat.
So when you get a lefty in the crowd there, you're both pulling the same side of the saw. Just tell me what kind of complications there are for that.
Oh, I don't know. It was the first time we've ever pulled together, so that was the first complication. The other is you're looking at somebody backwards from what you normal, from another lefty. Being on the same side, you got to both go forward with it.
Now, do people often look at you backwards?
Oh, that's quite a common occurrence with me, yeah.
How do you feel it went? Did you bend the saw or you be able to keep it straight?
I was bending a little bit. I think I was trying to push back too much, and like I said, it's the first time together, and
the middle of the second cut. I think we put a little much down pressure on it, and that wound us up a little bit. So.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Well, I don't want to slight the guys in the first two heats, but things are going to heat up right now. We are going to separate the pretenders from the contenders. We got Bertrand Fillon taking on Mike Sullivan and Jerry Gingras.
You know the French Canadians can work a double buck, but also in this heat, Mike Sullivan, he saw it for years with Jim Colbert. He was a sawing phenomenon. He has a great partner in Jerry Gingras. This is going to be fast.
Right now, the time to beat is 10 seconds. An excellent job by Maciel and Willard in the last heat, but the time's going to get dropped right here.
Look at the pace. They're almost off. First cookie's down already, Bill.
Looks like Bertrand Fillon have the edge right now, and they lower the time to beat the 7.52.
From what I was able to tell, you guys won that on the switch over because you were dead even after the first cut. Your switch over was so clean and your second cut was so good.
Yes, Bill, that's right. We had a very good switch on the second cookie. Coming up with half a stroke in the air, full speed in the cookie. I think that's what helped up to catch up with Jerry and Mike.
Now, I know you guys don't practice a lot. You live miles apart. What do you talk to each other about before you start?
Good speed, good pressure, use the whole tool, and don't make any mistake.
Well, look at that, Rod. We've lowered the time to beat by almost 2.5 seconds by Bertrand Fillon, clocking in at 7.52. And now we're looking at Mercier and Jewett. They've been all over the world sawing together, taking on Lambert and Gaston Deperry, a pair that have been working together for years as well.
Three of these guys actually file crosscut saws. JP Mercier does it full time. Mercier and Jewett are current world record holders right now, Bill. This is going to be fast.
Fasten your seatbelt. 7.52 is the time to beat. Watch the speed and working together are these guys. Mercier and Jewett down through the first cut. Deperry and Lambert right behind them. Mercier and Jewett win the double buck with a 6.61.
So when you guys are world-class sawing partners, what are the small things you work on? I mean, of course, you push hard, speed, all those sort of things. What's a small thing that you work on?
I would say the most important is straight off the top, to have the most amount of weight as possible. But when I'm pulling, Dave give me weight and he has to push the saw to me according with the weight he's putting on.
Being synchronized. Being synchronized is the biggest key.
That is the biggest key.
Jewett and Mercier's in-sync double buck gets the win in under 7 seconds in a tight top three showing from Fillon and Bertrand and Sullivan and Gingras. Welcome back to Lumberjacks in Lyster, Quebec. And here's a Chainsaw 101 lesson with Pascal Thiberge of Echo Canada.
So what's a hot saw? Hot saw is pretty much a modified chainsaw. What they do, they change the carburetor, the opening is bigger. This one uses fuel only. They change the porting. On a really good hot saw, they put the tune pipe, and they also use methanol as a fuel. The change is razor sharp, and also carb, way bigger. They also change the head.
And our thanks to Pascal from Echo Canada for giving that brief explanation of what you do with a chainsaw. You get it off the shelf, you make a few modifications. Here we are in the modified saw division. Gaston Deperry taking on Donald Lambert, and it's 3 cuts down, up, down.
Have 6 inches of wood to get those cuts within. 144 cc's worth of power here. They'll be using all they can to get these cuts done.
It's going to be loud, fast, and furious, and we got a great crew of competitors coming up. Gaston struggles out of the gate. Donald Lambert wins this heat as Gaston struggles lead him to a slow finish.
Gaston, I see you had a little bit of trouble with your saw. You want to explain to us just the trouble you've been through the last couple of days with your saw?
Yeah, I just rebuilt it yesterday, and I finished 11 p.m. yesterday night, and there is a 2-way for the flag wheel, and I think I put the wrong way. This advance the ignition, and this hard to start. That's why. But I know before this morning I do a warm up, but I have nothing to do, no tool for fix it.
Well, Gaston didn't bring the right tools to fix it. It cost him. He clocked in with a 7.40. He will not be at the top of the leaderboard. Donald Lambert, 5.49 this next heat. Trevor Moeller coming up against Calvin Willard. Trevor Moeller's been great at this event for years.
Oh, you got to have your money on Trevor Moeller. He's done this for a lot of years. He's actually one of the fastest guys from the wood to the saw. Look at that, it's a great example.
He gets into the wood as quick as possible. Trevor Moeller's going to win this heat, and he comes in with a 5.63.
Calvin, your third cut, I see there was a little bit of a bobble on there. What happened? Talk to us about what happened there.
Well, the first 2 cuts went pretty smooth, and when I came off my second cut to line up for my third,
I wasn't going to take a big enough cookie, and I was going to cut out and disqualify. So I had to pick the saw back up, move over an inch, and then make my third. So that certainly cost me some time.
Well, yeah, that's what I was going to say. So how much, what would that cost you think?
Oh, certainly half a second.
Difference between placing and not placing?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, with the competition that's here, I'd be surprised if that time played.
Thanks, Calvin.
Sure, thank you.
Here we go with heat number 3. We got Maciel versus Sullivan. Time to beat 5.49 set by Lambert in the first heat. They're off to the races.
Mike's a fast job. He finished second in the underhand, but look at him here in the modified size, smoking this thing in 5.1.
Beats Donald Lambert by 0.3 of a second.
Mike, great cut there. I see you're sporting G-oil here in your t-shirt. Want to tell us, you run any of that in your chainsaw?
Yeah, I'm running the bar and chain. It's the biodegradable bar and chain oil. It's something new, it's something good. It works real well for me.
Does it make you faster?
Absolutely.
Just when we thought we couldn't get any faster, these Lumberjacks stole the show. Bertrand and Gingras cutting it up in under 5 seconds. And the crown pivotal point goes to Mike Sullivan, coming in the top 3 in a lightning-fast modified saw. And of course, Gaston Duperret having a stellar all-around competition with a fine showing in the underhand chop.
Lumberjacks is sponsored by Echo, only professional grade with 5-year warranty. Crown, protect, maintain, save. Dickies, quality workwear since 1922. Yamaha, rev your heart.
Here's another shot of Jewett and Mercier. They got things closed in to try and contain the heat, because otherwise the heat's going to escape out the sides, and you want it heat in your can.
Amazing to see Jewett and Mercier doing that well. This is, again, 2 guys that don't do this hardly at all.
Time is 4:14. The clock is right now coming up to 3:45. Right now we got a rolling boil at the bottom of the can for Simon Bertrand and Hugues Filion. We're creeping up on 3:50. They got to get the job done real quick here.
This is the stage of the game where you hope you have the fire up the whole way around the side of the can so it won't just stay there and hold like this can's doing. Hey, Vince Maciel and Calvin Willard having a great fire going here. They may actually be in the top 5.
Here we are coming up on 4:05, and there it is! Simon Bertrand and Hugues Filion win the water boil with a time of 4:04 flat.